Welcome back to Outperform the Storm. I'm Martin Soorjoo, performance strategist. Today I want to talk about something counterintuitive, something that runs directly against every instinct the current environment is triggering. The world right now is moving fast, faster than most of us have ever experienced. Markets are lurching, AI is compressing timelines and rewriting roles. Geopolitical uncertainty is at levels most of us haven't navigated before. The pace of change, not just the amount of it, but the speed of it, has hit a different gear. And when the world speeds up, the natural instinct is to speed up with it, to match the urgency, to push harder, to stay sharper, to keep up. But here's the paradox. That instinct is wrong and it's expensive. Because the faster the world moves, the more dangerous it is to operate from a dysregulated state, and the more valuable the antidote of calmness becomes, not as a retreat from the pressure, but as the foundation for performing inside of it. Before I go further, I want to clarify exactly what I mean by calm. Calm is not simply relaxed, it's not passive, it's not disengaged, it's not switched off. Calm, real trained calm, is controlled power. High cognitive function, regulated arousal, prefrontal cortex fully online. That's the state where your decision making is sharpest, where your memory is most accessible, your pattern recognition is operating at full capacity, your attention is focused, not fragmented. It's not a low energy state, it's a high efficiency state. And the distinction matters, because the moment you conflate calm with passive, you've lost the argument before you've made it. Your audience will equate calmness with weakness. I've been fortunate enough to spend time working with and learning from some of the most elite military operators on the planet. And the one quality I noticed in every single one of them, without exception, is that they are eerily calm. Not numb, not emotionally flat, not unaware of danger, but calm, controlled, and present. They feel fear. They don't let it drive their emotions. There's a saying in the SEAL teams that captures this: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Now that sounds like a contradiction, but it isn't. It's a description of how a regulated nervous system operates. Research from military psychology has found that tactical breathing improves memory under stress, sustains first response accuracy, and maintains cognitive function at elevated heart rates, where most people's performance begins to collapse. The mechanism is the vagus nerve, the same nerve I talked about in earlier episodes. Controlled breathing activates the parasympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system, putting the brake on the fight or flight response and keeping the brain's higher functions online. But here's the part that so often gets missed. These modern day warriors don't just do this in the field, they train it every day in conditions that are controlled, so that when the situation becomes dangerous, calm is already installed. It doesn't arrive in the crisis, it's already there. The parallel for you is direct. Your boardroom, trading floor, or courtroom is not a firefight, but your nervous system doesn't know the difference. The biology that governs performance under fire is the same biology governing performance in a high-stakes negotiation, a difficult board meeting, a deal going sideways. Same system, different stakes, identical requirement. So here's what calm does to your brain and why it matters more than anything else in your toolkit right now. When your nervous system is in chronic overdrive, which for most founders and leaders it is now, cortisol stays elevated. And elevated cortisol does something specific and measurable to the prefrontal cortex. It degrades it structurally. Research has shown that sustained stress causes actual changes to the neural connections in the region of the brain responsible for decision-making, working memory, and cognitive flexibility. The very faculties you're depending on most right now. And the irony is that the greater the pressure, the more you need your prefrontal cortex online, but the more your physiology works to take it offline. Calm is what reverses that. Research consistently shows that higher HRV, which is the signature of a regulated nervous system, correlates directly with better executive function, better working memory, better cognitive flexibility, and faster recovery from cognitive load. In other words, the calmest person in the room is often the clearest thinker in the room. And in the AI era, that matters more than ever. When everyone has access to the same tools, the differentiator shifts upstream to judgment, to clarity, to the ability to hold complexity without panicking, focus without splintering, and deciding without freezing. That's cognition under pressure. That's the calm edge. One more research finding that I think is underappreciated, especially for anyone who leads a team. Calm is contagious, and so is its absence. Research from Wharton Sigal Barsade, one of the most cited researchers on emotional dynamics in organizations, demonstrates clearly that leaders' emotional states transmit to their teams unconsciously and continuously. Not occasionally, all the time. People mimic the physiological signals of those around them, especially those in authority. Heart rate, muscle tension, breathing patterns, they all shift in response to the leader's state. A dysregulated leader doesn't just underperform, they degrade the cognitive function of everyone in the room. The meeting that could have been clear, collaborative, and problem-solving becomes an exercise in collective stress management. Conversely, a calm leader stabilizes a group. Your nervous system is always broadcasting. Every time you walk into the room, it's transmitting and receiving a signal. The question is, what signal are you sending? This understanding matters more than ever in 2026. Our nervous systems were designed for acute, short-burst threats, the ambush, the confrontation. Short, intense, followed by recovery. It was not designed to run permanent emergency mode as a daily operating system. But that's exactly what modern professional life is asking of it. AI is compressing decision windows and raising output expectations simultaneously. Geopolitical uncertainty is generating ambient threat signals that don't resolve. The information environment is relentless. Your system is running a saber-toothed tiger response to an inbox. And the instinct to speed up, to push harder, to match the urgency makes it worse. Because when your nervous system is in chronic overdrive, the very capabilities you need to navigate the storm are the first casualties of it. Cognitive flexibility, the ability to learn and adapt, working memory, decision quality. The faster everything else moves, the more you need to be the still and calm point. Not frozen, not passive, calm and alert, operating from a regulated system while the world around you runs hot. That's the edge, and it's trainable. Now, in terms of a practical framework, there are two levels to this. The first is the instant override, the ability to shift your state in real time, to take a nervous system that's heading towards reactivity and bring it back online within 60 to 90 seconds. Specific breathwork practices are the primary tool. Simple, evidence-backed, deployable anywhere at any time. The second is daily investment. Calm under pressure is not built in the crisis, it's built before it. The operators I described earlier are calm in the field because they've trained it. Daily breathwork, HRV practice, deliberate nervous system regulation, not as a response to pressure, but as the infrastructure that means pressure never catches you unprepared. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day, not to feel better, but to perform better, consistently, over time. That's the massive return on minimal investment. So let me pull this together. The world right now is loud, fast, and relentless. Every instinct says speed up. The data says calm down, not because performance doesn't matter, but because calm is what keeps performance available when it matters most. The calmest person in the room keeps their prefrontal cortex online when everyone else is running on adrenaline. They make better decisions, they think more clearly, they lead more effectively, and they keep the people around them thinking clearly too. That's not a personality trait, it is a trained capability. And in a world that's accelerating, the ones who build it will have an edge that compounds. I'm Martin Soorjoo. Thanks for joining me. This is Outperform the Storm.